Everybody sweats, but do we know about hyperhidrosis? And why do we find excessive sweating so embarrassing? So have either of you ever heard of hyperhidrosis?
No.
No? Can you guess what it is?
Too much of something.
Yeah, show us your armpits. Have you got any sweat patches?
No.
Hydrosis, water.
Yes?
Logged.
So a condition?
Waterlogged.
Excessive sweating. I actually haven't heard of hyperhidrosis before. What is it?
It's excessive sweating way beyond what we consider to be the norm, up to about 5 times the norm. The hands, the feet and the axilla, underarm, are the most common places. The face, the head, the groin, the back, the chest also sometimes, but they're not as common.
Do you sweat?
Do I what?
Well, I sweat a lot, actually, because I look as if I've just come out of a swimming pool. You know, I sweat from the head.
Do you suffer from sweating at all?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time? Does it embarrass you at all?
No, not really. Everybody sweats.
Occasionally at night.
At night
Yes,
time?
occasionally. Yeah.
I do dance a lot, so we sweat a lot.
People just sweat when they're exercising, and that is not hyperhidrosis. It affects people in everything they do. You can probably imagine, I mean, if you work with paper and you have hyperhidrosis of your hands, it's a big problem. People who have hyperhidrosis of the feet, they rot shoes within weeks. People who have hyperhidrosis of the axilla tend to only wear black or white clothing.
One of my good friends has it and he suffers from it.
So what happens to him then?
Basically sweats all the time.
People assume that you're unhygienic if they see sweat patches on your clothes or something.
He'd put the shirt on and like a minute later he'd be sweating already.
It would be a real hassle in everyday life. Your clothes becoming wet. My brother has very sweaty feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do tend to pong a bit.
A lot of people associate excessive sweating with body odour, BO as we
smell.
know it. Yeah. Hyperhidrosis does not contain body odour. Often people just sweat excessively, but there is no smell with it.
I think sweating actually equals smelling then.
I think naturally you sweat, doesn't really smell.
If you didn't sweat, that would be a far greater problem than you know, perhaps sweating too much.
What are the causes of hyperhidrosis? How come there are some people affected by it and others aren't?
It affects about 1% of the population, and in 30% of people who have it, it has a genetic disorder. One member of their family tends to have it.
I'd probably go and I always carry a mini deodorant in my handbag, so probably have a squirt in the toilets.
Yeah, stick your armpit under the hairdryer.
Yeah.
What do you think you would do if you say your hands were sweating all the time and they just didn't stop?
I would go see a doctor, I suppose, definitely. It's going to make writing complicated and driving complicated.
I've seen about some injections that you can have.
I don't know. What could I do?
But the first line of treatment that most people tend to go for is a specialist antiperspirant. It's an aluminium chloride antiperspirant, actually, and there are 3 different types, and they can be bought over the counter in any chemist.
So if this doesn't work, what is the next option?
For most patients, if they failed the antiperspirants, and many do, they have a secondary referral to a hospital and they have iontophoresis treatment for hand, feet and axillary hyperhidrosis. It's a super treatment, it's not painful, it works for most people. Patients can then buy their own little home kit, they can give themselves a treatment once a week at home. It changes lives.
If that doesn't work, is there anything else that someone with hyperhidrosis can do?
Botox, botulinum toxin A, is registered in this country for treatment of hyperhidrosis of the axilla. Most people find it's a very, very good treatment, but unfortunately, privately, it's very expensive.
Do you think you'd go to such extreme measures as having surgery to help stop it?
Oh, that does seem a bit extreme.
There are 3 types of operation in this country, only one available on the NHS called endoscopic thoracic sympathectomy. It is major surgery, and we don't recommend it unless people have tried all other options first, because there are side effects from it.
As soon as everyone realises that we're not all perfect, not at all, I think the happier everyone would be.
The more people understand the problem and can recognise it, the better.
There's lots of people out there with the condition, and there are lots of things that can help, but come to us and we'll show you.